So Rajdeep, is there another battle within a battle? Because, we are playing out all the rich praise that Shashi Tharoor has had for the Prime Minister. Just a short while ago this morning, he's tweeted out a picture with him and Piyush Goyal. He's got wonderful things to say about the left's economic policies where Kerala is concerned. All of that, do you think, is just ways to keep Tharoor away from the Congress High Command because the likes of KC Venugopal don't quite like it?
Look, it thoda complicated hai. Yes, the KC Venugopal factor is certainly there. The fact that you have someone who's de facto running the party for Rahul Gandhi is also an aspirant for Kerala Chief Minister and therefore is wary of Shashi Tharoor's ambitions is well known. It's well known in Kerala. It's well known here in the national capital. So clearly, Shashi Tharoor in that sense, Rashid is spot on, is facing a bit of a proxy battle with KC Venugopal, no doubt about that. And KC Venugopal has the proximity to Rahul Gandhi and access to Rahul Gandhi and indeed to the Kerala Congress that perhaps a Shashi Tharoor does not have. So there is that battle within a battle undoubtedly. But this is a larger question, Preeti, that I want to take this debate beyond just the usual Congress versus this is more than that. What space does someone who's a lateral entrant, talented, has proved himself by winning 4 consecutive elections, is not a Hindutvavadi, is not a Stalinist, wants to, in a way, project a more modernist image for the Congress? What role does such an individual have in a party where insecurities and anxieties of all its leaders mean that anyone who comes from the outside with talent is always looked at with a large amount of suspicion? That's the problem. You see, the Congress today has what I call the rootless wonders. There are many rootless wonders in this party who have existed there for 20, 30 years quite simply by hovering around the Delhi Darbar. The cabals and the coteries. Then when someone from the outside, like Shashi Tharoor, comes, who in a way wants to challenge the status quo, wants greater space for himself in Parliament, outside Parliament, the immediate reaction of the Congress is to look at him with suspicion. And I think that's been the problem that Shashi Tharoor has always faced. You're absolutely right. At one level, there are people, forces within the Congress who have, kaan ke kache leaders ko kaha hai ki Shashi Tharoor may be flirting with the BJP. I don't think, let me be fair to Shashi Tharoor, there has been no occasion, let someone provide me where he has flirted with the BJP. He may have spoken at times in support of government schemes. Maybe on occasion he should have been, sometimes discretion is the better part of valor when you are in politics. All of that I agree. But flirting with the BJP is not his crime. Shashi Tharoor's crime in a way is that he is a talented individual with a mind of his own. And such individuals do not, unfortunately, have much space, not just in Congress, but across parties, but in Congress in particular at the moment, where the insecurities and anxieties of a few individuals are heightened. I think that's the reason, Preeti, why you are seeing a number of leaders in the Congress at various levels who may have their own aspirations, own ambitions, finding it very difficult, and Tharoor is a good example of it. Ideally, he should be part of a galaxy of leaders that the Congress should be presenting to the voters. I mean, that is the way. Shashi Tharoor has one advantage, Preeti. He is very appealing to middle-class, youthful audiences, particularly urban middle class. And that is the precise constituency which the Congress has lost in recent times. He is the kind of individual you could have used for it. I have it on record. I say it in my book on the 2024 elections. Shashi Tharoor was passed over for leader for the Lok Sabha. When he wanted to be in 2019, Adhi Ranjan Chaudhary was made the party's leader in the Lok Sabha. Now, Shashi Tharoor, asked, I would say 9.5 people out of 10 would say he'd make a better face in Parliament than an Adhi Ranjan Chaudhary. But what does one say? Sometimes Vinash Kal Vipreet Buddhi.
But, stay with me, Rajdeep. Rajat, just, 2 minutes of patience. Sanjay Jha has to leave, so I want to just bring him back into this conversation and I'll come right back to you. Sanjay, the fact is there are so many waiting in the wings. It took God alone knows how many years for the Congress to finally decide to give Madhya Pradesh to Jeetu Patwari. I think a Sachin pilot still doesn't know what his fate is when it comes down to Rajasthan, Sanjay. The number of mistakes and it's a legion of leaders. I'll ask my, our producer to play out that entire list. Leaders, assets of the Congress that the Congress lost because they just could not accommodate them. And some of them waited and waited and waited till the time they decided they had had enough. And primary, on our television screen is Jyotiraditya Scindia, who's now a star minister in Modi's cabinet. Sanjay, what is it that is really going on? Does the Congress really not care? The High Command must be watching somewhere down the line, even if there are these battles within many battles going on within the Congress.
Preeti, let me tell you, this whole accusation against the coterie is a rather exaggerated one. I'll tell you the reason why. A leader chooses the people you work with. And I feel that the leader has to know what's going on around you. And if you choose a coterie and then you empower them so much that they sunder you from the rest of the political organization, then you are the one where the buck stops. And I do believe that Rahul Gandhi or Mr. Kharge or Priyanka ought to know that the world is talking about this cabal or this caucus that keeps them away from the rest of the mainstream politicians. But to answer your question, I think the real concern has to be that the old Congress way of functioning, which is where I had a huge problem, which was that the problem will just kind of wither away on its own. It doesn't happen that way. You got to take it head on, which is what I have written to Rahul. You can't wait for a problem to just evaporate into thin air. Look at what happened, Preeti, in Punjab. A conflict between two leaders, and the Congress party gave away Punjab on a silver platter to the Aam Aadmi party. Now, all of you are veterans. You know that within parties there is competition for power. Understandable. In fact, it should be. I consider that to be a healthy competition. But leaders have to know how to handle that conflict. If you're not going to be proactive, getting people together to fix it, you're in trouble. The same happened in Rajasthan. Trust me, I'm not exaggerating. If Sachin had been made the chief minister a little earlier before assembly, who knows what the results would have been? You toppled your own government in Madhya Pradesh. In Karnataka, there is a prolonged conversation about what's going on. I mean, the Congress has to learn from its mistakes. My biggest disappointment, and I was compelled to write it to Rahul. People thought I was doing it and, it'll embarrass him. It's not true. I believe that you've got to learn from your mistakes. My biggest worry for the Congress is, Preeti, that it is not even learning from the second or the third or the fourth mistake. And I have grown up reading once bitten, twice shy.
All right.